All right, so day 22. Um, Today I discovered the book called The Coiled Serpent. It's making me believe that there's some sort of conspiracy. Let's get one thing straight. I don't really believe in conspiracies, but I do believe that really rich people tend to stick together. Birds of a feather flock together. These rich people all seem to control all of our media outlets, everything, politics, media, everything. The banking systems, man. I don't want to sound like one of those people, one of those tinfoil people, but it's crazy. I feel like there's a very strong push to make anything that's like nofap related to seem kind of funny. Isn't that weird that the person who beats off is considered normal, but the guy who practices nofap is almost like But you know why that is? Is because people assume that you had some sort of a problem with it, but you don't. I think most of you guys don't have a problem with it. You're like average guys, right? Any average guy with a healthy libido these days in the technology age, rubs one out from time to time, okay? Some people more than others, but that's not the point. I think most people who are on nofap are just normal dudes that realize that as soon as they stop doing this, they became very, very intelligent, that things just started happening, things just started falling into place. All like for me, man, I honestly all the time I hear people saying, "Oh, nofap won't fix all your problems." For me, it literally fixed all of my problems, and I've had some fucking serious problems in my life. Okay, so I get kind of offended when I hear that because it stopped me from starting my nofap journey for a long time, and I didn't like that. So it affects different people differently. That's one thing I will agree on. Anyways, The Coiled Serpent, a book written in 1939. This guy was already talking about people and how culture has changed to be super sexual. And I guess beating off was really popular back then too. And people having mindless sex was, people weren't as conservative as we think they were back then. They were actually hooking up. There's something to do with jazz and stuff like that. They reference to jazz that it gets like the spirit riled up. And I remember religious groups talking about it also. There must be something to it because jazz is like when we broke from classical music. I'm not going to talk about classical music right now. That's a very interesting topic for a different day. Anyways, okay, back to the journal entry, day 22. I discovered the book The Cold Serpent today, and it seems to be some sort of hidden manuscript. Extremely excited to finish reading it. The foreword has a quote by no other than Schopenhauer. Basically, this book is some of the most famous people in the world talking about nofap. All this, I swear, this information has been silenced. It's crazy. I really believe it's some sort of something's happening behind the scenes. It's like a way of population control because I know Aristotle didn't like politics. He hated politics because you can't control a group of people. We're meant to be in tribes. As soon as we start having cities and countries, it's impossible to control a group of people without things like this, okay? Like sexual things that dull the mind, dull the senses and make you not a high achiever. You're not going to be able to rally big groups of people to have a revolution or something when you're constantly suppressed with these stimulants, with these extreme stimulants, such as, for example, sexual stimulants. Okay, let's go on. What did Schopenhauer say? The wise in all ages. This was the foreword to the book, or one of the quotes in the book. The wise in all ages have always said the same thing, and the fools who at all times form the immense majority have continued to do the opposite. And this was with reference to purity. They called it purity instead of like semen retention or nofap. This book is insane. You guys have to seriously pause this video now and download it. It's for free. Just type in The Coiled Serpent, okay? You can download it for free. It's the first thing that pops up when you type it into Google. Right click, save it. Man, you're not gonna be able to pull yourself away from this. This is like crazy. But the guy's standards, the guy that writes this book, his standards are super high. Like I think I'm pretty extreme about it, but you can tell. And he covers every topic like crazy. And I can't believe this existed. And this isn't like required reading. Anyways, I'll continue, okay? I'll repeat this quote one more time by Schopenhauer. The wise in all ages have always said the same thing, and the fools who at all times formed the immense majority have continued to do the opposite. This was in reference to purity, okay? And limiting sexual desire. Schopenhauer is one of the most famous philosophers in the world, you know what I mean? Let's not get into that right now. You guys could do your own research on that guy. But that book is full of the most famous names, okay, talking about this topic. Um, Today I caved 25 hours into my fast. I wasn't able to continue my fast. I just ended up stuffing my face. I wasn't especially hungry, but I needed form of stimulation, and nofap being my highest priority, I would rather sacrifice weight loss over other stimulants such as caffeine and alcohol or carbs, mainly sugar, which began to tempt me. I am now for sure beginning to feel the effects of nofap. This was another entry later on that day. A general enlightenment and sense of weightlessness is overcoming me, as well as a need to develop myself. I'm actually, for the first time in my life, enjoying reading and learning about topics that I was not interested in before that will further my self-development. I'm having insanely strong and even scary insights into the world. Okay, a bunch of stuff that I should talk about, but just it's going to make these videos way too long. NoFap gives me so much ambition and drive that I can't help but move forward in life. I feel like the last week or so I've had an underlying flatline that can't manifest itself due to the amount of exercise, positive thinking, meditation that I've been doing. My intuition is telling me I will have a tough 2 to 3 weeks ahead of me, but after that, life-changing things will occur. Okay, and another journal entry before the end of the day was, every effort to resist the demand of the sexual urge will gradually lead to the uncoiling of the serpent. Just as I noticed a few days ago when I had the strongest urges and I overcame them, I felt the superpowers. This book, I'm referring to The Coiled Serpent, is amazing so far. I want to quote every single line that's written in it. The whole book is just a book of notes. It's basically an entire book of notes. It's about 50% quotes of the famous people related to nofap, basically, and sexual purity, whatever you want to call it. That's what they called it back then. And it's written in this. It is very serious reminder to read this book several times. Okay, day 23. Yesterday I came to realize that humans today are all looking for distractions 24/7. Even if somebody is vice-free or free of bad habits, if you don't know what vice means, free of bad habits, even the 5% of the high achievers, they all look for distractions every day so they don't have to be alone with their thoughts. Think of this meme. I'm sure you've seen this meme on Facebook or Instagram. When you forget to take your phone into the bathroom and you have to read the shampoo bottle, right? Like, why? What is that that's driving us to do that? This is just an example of what people will do in order to escape their thoughts, even though thinking about what's troubling them will resolve all their problems. I'm also guilty of this, but at least now, from today, I'm very conscious of it. Okay, I think starting tomorrow, I'll do a 36-hour dopamine fast every week. Also today was interesting. I woke up at 4:15 even though I didn't go to sleep until 11 p.m. I've been noticing over the past week that I've been waking up early, and the moment I open my eyes, I'm instantly wide awake and full of energy. Even 5 hours of sleep feels like 8 hours. Even though I hit the sauna hard last night, and usually I'm pretty groggy the next day when I'm trying to get up after a sauna. I usually have the best sleep ever. Because sauna helps with sleep issues. Obviously, you guys know this. It's a very popular thing. But always the next day after my sauna days, I have a hard time getting out of bed. Now, no more. I went for a 1.5 hour bike ride. Noticed that I'm now really enjoying classical music like Beethoven, Mozart, Bach, Chopin. The book, The Coiled Serpent, is probably the biggest goldmine of information I've come across. I can't believe this information was hidden and already available since 1939. The amount of new info is amazing also. A lot of insights. This book must be read once a month at least. Simply taking notes is not enough. They explain why you become sharper mentally, why you get superpowers, why you get stronger physically, why you become more muscular physically. Okay. And also I've noticed that now I'm on day 50. I'm beginning to finally... diet is not a problem anymore for me. It's naturally happening. This is stuff that people give their monthly paycheck for. People will bend over backwards to get what I'm getting now. I'm starting to see veins in places I've never seen veins before. My six-pack is really coming along. I'm going to have it, I think, in 30, 45 days max. I don't know. We'll see. But that book, back to that book again, okay? So I'll do days 24 and onwards in the next video.